Trump going to war with everybody, the American people is doomed. Before we get started, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, and scholarship. Now, we do have a 50% of the people that's for Donald Trump. We got another 50% that's against Donald Trump. So I want everybody to understand that it's okay to be for Donald Trump. It's also okay to be against Donald Trump. If you don't know, I'll tell you now. 70% I do agree with Donald Trump, what he says and what he does. 30% I disagree with. Now, Donald Trump has just signed the ban on transgender athletes in women's sports. This is one of the executive orders that I agree with. And the reason why I agree with it, I don't feel as though a male that was born with a man's instrument, I feel like no male that was born with a man's instrument should be playing in a all-woman sport. That's why I agree with him on this order. Now, as far as transgenders, I agree with a man, I agree with a woman that chooses that lifestyle. Why? That's their choice. If they choose to like sexually the same sex, that's fine with me. That's their choice. So I don't want the LGBT community, I don't want transgenders to think that I have a problem with you all. I don't. I don't have a problem with the lifestyle and who you choose to sexually be with. I only have a problem when males that were born with men instruments chooses to play in a all-girl sports. So I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with this executive order. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. I will get down there with y'all. Let's get into this demonstration.
Thank you very much. This is a nice crowd, isn't it, huh? You've been waiting a long time for this. So have I. Actually, it was so ridiculous. But here we are. And this doesn't have to be long. It's just all about common sense. Doesn't have to be long. In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time. Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
Drop a one. Drop a one if y'all are in agreement with this. Drop a one. And I will get to some of the 30% that I disagree with, all right? So I don't want anybody to think that, man, that goes Shank on that BS. You know how I get down. I give the good, the bad, and the ugly. So right now, I'm just giving you all the latest update, the latest news on Trump's executive orders, but then we're going to take a deeper dive into what I call Trump is doing too much. I do feel like he's doing too much, and I do believe that it's going to be the American people that is going to suffer the most. And I'll get into that later on in the demonstration, y'all. So keep in mind, this is a demonstration of the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to Donald Trump. Once again, salute to the chat. I see y'all. I will get down there and chop it up with y'all. Just give me a minute.
But before going further, I want to share some very exciting news from our military. After years of shrinking force numbers at levels that nobody has ever seen before, 4 years of this we went through, and missed recruiting targets every single month, it was just announced that in December, the U.S. Army had its single best recruitment in more than 15 years. Okay. Every single day, nearly 350 new soldiers enlisted to defend our nation, and they're very, very happy to have done so. We've done lots of interviews, and we asked why this was taking place now, and they just said there's a spirit about our country that they haven't seen in many, many years. And I happen to agree with that. But it really is clear proof that the spirit is sweeping our armed forces, and we have a great leader in Pete. As you know, we all know Pete so well. He's going to be fantastic, and so many of our great heroes, and people are starting to understand what hero is all about. So that is something that is very important. We've gotten the woke lunacy out of our military, and now we're very importantly getting it out of women's sports. That's taking place very strongly. So in recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. You heard a little bit about this, haven't you? Huh? Just a little bit. Does anybody agree with them? No. Would be not a good thing to say yes right there. Female athletes have been forced onto the front lines, and men claiming to be girls have stolen more than 3,500 victories, that's a lot, and invaded more than 11,000 competitions designed for women. Last year, a male cyclist posing as a woman competed in the 800-mile Arizona Trail Race, a very big deal in cycling, and obliterated the women's course record by nearly 5.5 hours. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it, huh? 5.5 hours. So, but you have to hear the weightlifting records. You think that's bad? The weightlifting's worse. In 2023, a man in women's powerlifting broke 2 world records and outlifted his closest female opponent in one event by 440 pounds. And they continue to defend themselves. Mr. Congressman, you know that, right? They continue to defend themselves. We hope they continue onward because I don't think we can lose a race. This is one of the big reasons that we all won, and it's one of the big reasons that we had a record, a landslide like they haven't seen before, very often anyway. And who could forget last year's Paris Olympics where a male boxer stole the women's gold medal after brutalizing his female opponent so viciously that she had to forfeit just after 46 seconds, and she was a championship fighter.
And that's what this executive order is about. And as I said before, I agree with this executive order. The executive order to ban transgender athletes in women's sports. I definitely agree with this. Now, and shout out to Melanie Off Script. Coffee Girl sent me a video of Melanie Off Script, and I listened to it, very carefully. And she made some good points when it comes to the tariffs. Salute Foxy to Roxy 3. Appreciate you for pulling up. Make sure everybody show Foxy to Roxy 3 a whole lot of love. She's new over here. Let us welcome her in. She comes from my good friend, All in the Q. All in the Q, in my opinion, is an excellent content creator. Salute Chandrika Williams. So make sure everybody makes Foxy to Roxy 3 feel very welcome over here. Now, with the tariffs, like I said, shout out to Melanie Off Script. With the tariffs, I get it. I get it. Now, she put it to me in a gangster terminology. And I get the gangster terminology. Salute, Kern. I see y'all. But we always got to keep in mind. If you watch Scarface and if you watch The Godfather, Scarface didn't last long. Salute, Nika. I see you, top flight, positive vibes. Salute, y'all. Scarface didn't last long. Why? Because Scarface was knocking off all his connects. Scarface was going to war with all his friends. You know, people that brought him in the game. People that he made alliances with early on when he got started. Scarface started knocking them off. So we don't want Donald Trump to follow in those same footsteps as Scarface. Because as we can see, Canada ain't backing down. Mexico ain't backing down. And you know China definitely is not backing down. So I want and no bald head jokes. No bald head jokes. Anybody making bald head jokes, y'all will report to my office. But give me a minute, y'all, because I want to go to Jasmine Crockett. All right? I ain't laughing positive vibes. And my studio is under construction, so just bear with me, y'all. I'm getting ready to work on my studio. Give me a minute, y'all. Oh, I guess not. Okay, here we go. No. All right, here we go. All right. I found this from Jasmine Crockett, y'all. Tell me what y'all think.
As I am referring to my Republican colleagues, pretend as if you are the heroes of the story, but let me remind you who set the house on fire. It was y'all. So let me go ahead and handle these receipts, because I know that I always have to have proof, even though I guess our education system is failing us, because it seems like facts don't seem to faze people that vote for y'all. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So when we talk about debt, I'd ask for unanimous consent to enter into a record this article that says Donald Trump built a national debt so big, even before the pandemic, that it'll weigh down the economy for years.
Drop a 1 if y'all agree with Jasmine Crockett. Drop a 2 if y'all disagree. She says before COVID, Donald Trump's economy wasn't as great as he claims. And I also want to talk about this thing that he has with Iran, I believe. I believe he made a post that if Iran assassinates him, so has he been getting death threats from Iran? There she goes. Salute all in the queue. And make sure you all subscribe to my good buddy, All in the Queue. Very, very great content creator. So make sure you all go and show All in the Queue some love by subscribing to her channel.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much. In fact, it talked about the fact that he ran up our debt almost $8 trillion. It was estimated to be $7.8 trillion at that time. And this is it's actually the third biggest increase ever under any presidential administration. So I don't understand how y'all gonna play the heroes.
One thing that I like about Jasmine Crockett, one thing that I give Jasmine Crockett, She always brings her receipts. Mel says our economy survived off the surplus created by Obama's administration. Drop a 3 if y'all agree with Miss Sunny, Florida. Drop a 3 if y'all agree with Miss Sunny, Florida. Mel says our economy survived off the surplus created by Obama's administration. One thing I like about Jasmine Crockett, she brings her receipts.
I also want to just kind of be clear about some basic level setting of civics, because it seems like civics is evading us. And listen, Governor, I actually appreciate you. I know that in today's times, for whatever reason, if you got a D or an R in front of your name, it has to be all hostile. Listen, I am a former business owner. If I was not sitting in this seat, I would still have my law firm, but you know, we have rules, right? So I'm not allowed to practice law. I'm not allowed to do a lot of other things because ethics decides that that's not really a good thing, to make sure that the American people can trust that I don't have any divided interest. And
wait a minute, y'all.
in fact, we do that for people that run our treasury typically. So I'm curious to know if you have an elected treasurer in your state.
Another thing that I like about Jasmine Crockett, same thing that I like about Donald Trump. Jasmine Crockett and Donald Trump, they are not scared to speak their minds. Jasmine Crockett and Donald Trump says what they mean and means what they say. In my opinion, they both go hard in the paint. They gonna speak their mind. They gonna let you know exactly how they feel. So I give both Jasmine Crockett and Donald Trump 3 points for not being scared to speak their minds.
And you do, actually. We do. I know you do, because I looked him up. And I'm curious to know. So it's my guess that he's the one that actually controls all of the treasury systems that you have, correct?
Some of the investments.
He controls some of the investments, but also monies that need to be disseminated by the state, that's done by him, correct?
Department of Management in the Treasurer's Office.
Okay. In the Treasurer's Office.
2 separate agencies.
Okay. But you have an agency that does that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And as you are having this agency do that, these are people that have some sort of ethics that they have to follow, I'm sure. I'm going out on a limb because I don't know how anything works in Iowa. I'm just being honest with you.
Yes.
Okay. Here is the deal. I want the American people to understand that Democrats are not against efficiency. In fact, the last time that this country actually ran to the extent that there was a balanced budget and actually there was a surplus, it was a Democrat in the White House. His name was President Clinton.
What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all agree with Jasmine Crockett about President Clinton? Do y'all agree? Yes or no?
So we are not against this. What we are against is this idea that we will evade the Constitution, or we will evade our own constitutional. In fact, it's not even an invasion. At this point, it feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected. It doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the fields campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty, we all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously. But I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job, and my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which. But
now, this is part of the 30% when it comes to Trump that I disagree with. I don't feel like Elon Musk should be in the position that he's in. Foxy says, yes, they do. Flower says, Obama surplus, that's a good one. Aunt Esther says, yes. Foxy says, yes. I was working in the Fed government at that time. Miss Sunny, Florida says, facts. He was the best economic president I can remember. Kate Card says, yes, Clinton left a surplus. Aunt Esther says, boom. Yes, Miss Crockett. All right, y'all. 3 points for the Democrats. Republicans, where are my Republicans at? Come on, Republicans. Where are my Republicans at? Are there any Republicans out there that disagree with Miss Crockett? Please drop down and talk to me.
But either way, I want to also talk about Governor. I'm curious to know if you know the answers to these questions. Which party controls the White House?
Republican.
Which party controls the Senate?
Republican.
Which party controls the House?
Republican.
Is that about what the makeup is in Iowa?
Yes.
And that has allowed you to be able to get your agenda across, correct?
Yes.
And you haven't had to bring in somebody to basically usurp any types of norms because you worked through the process, correct?
Well, I did executive orders,
Yes or no?
2080
Yes or
agreements,
no?
and then
Yes-
went to
yes
the
or no? Because
legislature
we're
as
gonna
well. It
have
was
to-
in all
I'm
of the
gonna
above.
reclaim my time
All
because
of
we
the
got
above.
so much time left.
All of the
I
above.
also want to point out that you specifically talked about that you recently had 3 national declarations for disasters, and I want to enter into the record a unanimous consent. Trump moves to abolish FEMA, shift disaster response to states.
Without objection.
And my final unanimous consent I'd ask says that Mike Johnson's budget plan is at risk of collapse, even though we know that y'all control all 3 levers of government. So if this is what y'all want to do, then go ahead and clean it up and fix it and just go through the process. And honestly, there's nothing that we will be able to say about it.
Order.
100%. I agree with Jasmine Crockett. Now, if Jasmine, and I've said this, if Jasmine ran for president up against Trump, Jasmine would definitely get my vote. And the main thing that I like about Jasmine, the main thing, she brings receipts. She knows what she's talking about. Mel says 3 trillion. Mel says Jasmine definitely come with receipts all the time. Salute Sabrina. The Full Life says the Republicans are here, but they damn sure don't hit that like button. They just look and wait for a clear opening. I cussed, but it was needed. Sorry. Nah, you're good, Full Life. Come on, Republican. Where my Republican family at? Come on, y'all. Democrats getting out on y'all Republicans. And the Republicans, I say the same thing. When the Democrats be ghosts and the Republicans be down there in the chat. I want a mixed chat. I want Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, liberals, independents. I want us all to be able to come together and dialogue. So come on, Republicans. Come on. The Full Life says it's 208 people watching. This crazy number. Salute, Wise Watcher. I see you, Wise Watcher. Cape Cod says receipts. As Positive Vibes says, Republicans, bring your funky asses out them bushes.
And with that, I will yield.
All right, y'all. Now, like I said, I like Jasmine Crockett. Mel says, agree with Jazz. You're in control of all levels, so clean it up. The Full Life says, vibe. Salute Emma. Emma says, go Crockett. All right. On December says, Black Mega. Precious Jones. Salute Precious Jones. Talk to us, Black Mega. Talk to us about what you just heard Jasmine Crockett say. And let me see if I can find something else. All right, let's go to Jasmine Crockett yesterday.
Great news. Now your account has a...
Let's go to Jasmine Crockett yesterday at the protest.
Next up, we have the wonderful Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas.
Do y'all agree with Jasmine or not, Republicans? I know my Democrat side agree. Do my Republican side agree? Salute Blender Healing. Salute Blender Healing. And on December, I know this is your first time over here. You are allowed to voice your opinion, your perspective, but we don't use profanity in the chat. Why y'all always protesting over nothing? All right, now that's a good point. So for my Democrats that's down there, Black Mega on December says, why y'all always protesting over nothing? Who agrees? Are the Democrats always protesting over nothing? All right. One Cup Too Bad says Project 25 is amazing. All right. Mel says, I'm here for what's right, no matter what side of the aisle you're sitting on. What is going to make a better America without hurting the people? And I'm right there with you, Mel. Salute Nika the Empress. Appreciate you for pulling up, Nika. Salute y'all. And right, as Cape Cod says, no ball jokes. Don't y'all follow behind positive ass. Stay away from positive vibes with the ball jokes. All right. Let's get back to Jasmine Crockett for a second, y'all.
I'm gonna try my best not to preach. I just want to say thank you, because every day that we show up in DC, we show up for you. We know who we work for. We know that we work for the American people. And what we're not going to do is stand around while they pull this bullshit that they trying to pull right now.
Blended Healing says she's my
This is why
shero.
I'm not going to be able to preach, because I probably won't be able to stop cussing. But let me tell y'all something. I know some of y'all have been frustrated, and you've been saying, where are the Democrats? Where are the leaders? Well, I'm here to tell you that we ain't never left y'all. All right? We are here. We are also going to make sure that they uphold the law. We are not going to sit around while you go ahead and desecrate our Constitution, or you look at the laws that have been passed into law and say, never mind, we'll just ignore that. Instead, we are going to be in your face, we are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure.
I like what Take by the Lake says. Salute Take by the Lake. Take by the Lake says, I like her, OG, but where was she when Kamala needed her? That's for the Democrats. I like what you asking, Take by the Lake. Take by the Lake wants to know, where was she when Kamala needed her? On December says Jasmine Crockett was recruited and campaign funded by AIPAC. Blended Healing says running Kamala's National GOTV. All right, appreciate that answer, Blended Healing. Precious Jones says elected by the people, work for the people. Ryan, I see you, Ryan. Ryan says crazy. I see you, Ryan. All right. I see you, Ryan. Ryan says crazy. Mel says she was doing what she's doing now.
We're going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it. So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You're going to learn a few lessons from us. And I'm going to be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter, y'all about to find out, all right? Now let me be clear. What Maxwell said is true. Our job is to conduct oversight. We both serve on the oversight committee. And right now, as elected leaders who tried to go in, we were told, well, hold on a second. We got to check to see if you can come in. Now, y'all know he likes to pal around with Putin, right? He's trying to turn us into Russia. But I got news for him. We, the people, will not go. It's cold out here. And yeah, we won't go. We won't go. We won't go. We won't go. Listen, the final thing to say is there are those that have said that we may face a constitutional crisis. I want you to know that the crisis is here. I want you to know that the power belongs to the people, though, y'all. Do not feel powerless. In this moment, as the vice president said as she conceded the election, she said, dark times
the darkness that we can see the stars. I am telling you right now that the stars are right here. It is time for us to shine. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to make sure that they know we will not go.
As I said, and I'll say it again, I like Jasmine Crockett. I like Jasmine Crockett. I'm going to go to one more clip from Jasmine, and then we're going to move on. Now, I'll give y'all my commentary on the American people being doomed. Now, once again, I agree with 70% of what Donald Trump says and what he does. I disagree with 30%. Now, in my opinion, Donald Trump is doing too much. He's coming in. He's signing all these executive orders. He's going to war with this country. He's going to war with that country. He's signing these executive orders against this group of people, against that group of people. Well, here's the meat. Here's the whole thing of what I am saying. A few of us Americans, sure, we are ready for this. Sure, we can handle what's coming down the turnpike. A few of us. But you got to remember, we have been living a certain lifestyle, and we have been comfortable with living this lifestyle. The majority of us is not going to adapt to these changes. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not that the majority of us can't adapt, because I believe that we can adapt to anything that we put our minds to. But the reason why the majority of us won't adapt, because the majority of us do not agree with this. The majority of the folks do not, even Trump supporters do not agree with everything that Trump is putting into place. You have to give the people some time. You can't just come in office 2 weeks, you cutting all these programs. You're going after DEI. Why are you going after DEI? You're going after the LGBT community. You're going after Canada. You're going after China, Mexico. You're going after too many people all at once. Slow your roll. Watch The Godfather. Compare Don Corleone to Scarface, and you'll see how strategically Don Corleone moved. You'll see how reckless Scarface moved. You can't beef with everybody. You can't. All right, let's get back to Jasmine Crockett, and then we're going to move on. I got some other clips that I need to share with y'all.
Texas, Jasmine Crockett, she is the vice-ranking member on the House Oversight Committee and now a newly minted member of the DOGE subcommittee. Welcome, my friend. It's good to see you. Let's get to what you'll be doing serving on this committee. It's led by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene to provide oversight to DOGE's efforts. Do you know why they went after access to the federal government's payment system?
I have no idea, but I don't have any positive thoughts when it comes down to it. I appreciate that you played the clip of Jamie Raskin, and as you know, Congressman Raskin asked, why do you need access? Mm-hmm. I mean, here it is.
And not to cut Jasmine off, I got so much, and I meant to write these things down, but I appreciate that, Esther. He's talking about rebuilding the Gaza Strip. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What in the world? Man, Trump. I definitely disagree with that. What in the hell your funky ass doing over in the Middle East talking about rebuilding the Gaza Strip? First of all, you talking about taking it from them. You talking about making them bow down to you. And then you talking about rebuilding it. Man, you better come to Detroit. You better come to Baltimore. You better come to Chicago. You better come to Cleveland, St. Louis, D.C., New York. You better come to these inner cities and rebuild these inner cities before your funky ass talk about building anything elsewhere. I disagree with Trump on this. I disagree, and I strongly disagree with him going over there in the Middle East. Leave them folks alone and attend to the folks that's in America.
I'm a wholly, fully elected member of Congress. I don't have that kind of access. So when you start talking about who should have access to literally the system that controls approximately $6 trillion of our dollars, I don't really understand, because the people that worked in those positions could only distribute money per the law. So why is it that the DOGE committee would have to have access? And that's not the place that you go to look for cuts. You look at our budget, which it is Congress that has the power of the purse. You look at our budget, you help the president come up with his proposed budget, and then the House and the Senate will decide what we send to his desk, and he gets to decide whether or not he signs it into law. He should not have access to this. And with people already having angst about Elon Musk and the things that he does as it relates to technology, this is not instilling anything more than another layer of fear, especially since normally when you are going to be in a position like that, you have to go through security clearances. And let me tell you, some people think security clearances are all about whether or not you have a warrant or not. No, they look at whether or not you have some sort of divided interest. They look at whether or not you have good credit. They look at so many other things. And we're talking about someone who's unelected, unvetted, and definitely unconfirmed that is now literally sitting atop our $6 trillion, and we don't know what it is that he's doing, and we honestly don't know what role he has.
Once again, I'll say it again. It's not so much of the things that Trump is doing that I am against. I am against he is doing too much. 2 weeks in office. Let's say 3 weeks. I'll give him 3 weeks. 3 weeks in office. This man has signed more executive orders than any president in the United States history in the first 2 weeks. It's not so much that I'm against it. I'm just against he is doing too much. I'll say it again. You got 4 years in office. 4 years in office. Take your time. All right? What you are doing in 2 weeks, you can stretch it out and go to 4 years. Okay, when you come in office, all right, look, okay, we got these executive orders. Okay, I'm not going to push them. I'm not gonna sign off on them, immediately. Give me time, like Canada said, like China, like Mexico. Why you didn't give them people a phone call, Trump? Why you just didn't make a phone call with them people? That's all I'm saying. Make phone calls first. Get these people on the line. Go visit these people. Sit down with these people. Hey, look, this is what me and my administration has in store. We are planning to do tariffs. I'm not saying that I'm completely against the tariffs, but slow walk it. Let Mexico know. Let China know. Let Canada know. Look, this is what we plan on putting in place. Let's negotiate first so we don't have to put these in place. You making yourself seem like Scarface. You making yourself seem like Debo on Friday. Nobody is going for it. Nobody is going for it. That's like if let's say I come and test you to Full Life or Blended Healing or One Cup, Miss Parker, everybody in the chat. Let's say if I come to y'all and I test y'all and I demand y'all do this. I demand y'all do that. y'all gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Y'all gonna say, Shank, you didn't bump your head. Vice versa. If y'all come to me with these demands, I'm gonna be like, first of all, Miss Parker, you got my number, Miss Parker. You could have just hit me up and talked about it. The full life, you could have just hit me up. Blended Hill and Sabrina and everybody else, one cup. Y'all positive, y'all could have just hit me up. And we could have talked about this off record. But you can't come in the game being a bully. You can't come in the game forcing your way on everybody. You want everybody to bow down to you. Nah, it don't work that way. I'm not for it. I'm against it. I'll say it again. Donald Trump is doing too much. Salute, Tina. Salute, Tina. For those in the back, Donald Trump is doing too much. Boris says otherwise they wouldn't do what he's doing wanted. You can't necessarily say that. You can't necessarily say that. Then if they don't, agree, if you can't come up with an agreement, let's say if he give them a phone call and let's say they say, nah, we ain't going to agree with you. Now, right away, salute Bronze, salute Bronze. I see you, Bronze. Now you got the right of way. If I get at you and I say, look, I got a problem with you and we need to resolve this problem. That's called being diplomatic. I thought that's what presidents were supposed to be. Boris says Trump is doing too much to help America. The Full Life says, Shank Rock, we saw a content creator. Exactly. Now y'all see they coming at me, y'all. Boris says he was the one negotiating. You don't know what they were saying. He wasn't negotiating behind the scene, Boris. If he was negotiating with them behind the scenes, then the negotiation would have took place behind the scenes. We wouldn't have never knew about that. We wouldn't have never knew about that. So he wasn't negotiating with them behind the scenes. Laurie says rather him than Biden. Biden is off the table now. We shouldn't be discussing Biden. Ain't no need for us to discuss Biden. Biden gone. Biden ain't the president. He's not the president no more. So we can't hold Biden accountable for nothing. He's gone. We got to hold Trump accountable. And that's how I move. It's all about holding people accountable. Take by the Lake says so many things happen we don't know about. Like Biden, 11 years, at least we know to have a discussion in real time. I agree with you, Take by the Lake. One Cup says he took the men out of women's sports. And I agree with that, One Cup. I agree with that executive order. Larry says sit back and enjoy the ride. I agree with him taking the transgenders out of women's sports. I agree with that.
Look, you have well articulated some of the bad thoughts as you described them at the top here. The question is, does Musk's team now have the power to actually disrupt federal payments?
Are you really the last person to find out about this skip ads for?
And that's the question. Now, y'all let me know. Man, it's coming down to Elon Musk. Do y'all feel like Elon Musk supposed to be doing what he's doing? I know y'all can't be for Elon Musk. We just got to call a spade a spade. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Precious says, just a funny moment. Trump stopped my wig, ain't coming now. Coming from China. I know a lot of y'all females mad about that, ain't y'all? Precious Jones. Take by the Lake says, keeping jobs in America, manufacturing cars, etc. Most Hated agrees with Larry. I'm definitely enjoying it. Jobs should always be for us first here, period. Cape Cod says, is impeachment the same as removal? I'm not sure. Ebeck says Trump and Elon are acting like hood rats. Pretty much. Pretty much.
In my opinion, they do, but I honestly don't know. We still don't know really what DOGE is in the first place. I mean, listen, think about it like this, Alex. Everyone hates Congress. That's just what it is, right? But as a sitting member of Congress, I mean, I had to give up my ability to practice law. I am prevented from being able to practice law to prevent potentially somebody dropping a load of cash on me and I do something that is nefarious as one of 435.
Appreciate that super sticker, Miss Parker. Appreciate that super sticker. Salute DJ Blackout. Salute DJ Blackout. Salute 80s, baby. Salute. I'm in agreement with Tina. Tina says, Shank, I think Elon is a big mistake, especially when it's dealing with our personal information. I agree with you. Drop a 1 if y'all agree with Tina. She thinks that Elon is a big mistake, especially when it's dealing with our personal information. I agree with that. Drop a 1 if y'all agree with her. Drop a 2 if y'all disagree. Salute Waffle Jackson. Salute Waffle Jackson.
And now we're talking about a guy who literally gets government contracts from the United States and has not had to divest, has not had to, I mean, it is really awful. And I know right now people are asking whether or not their IRS refund checks are going to be affected. We don't know if this is more DEI. Are you going to say if it's somebody that's a person of color, then for some reason, whatever they paid in to the federal government, they're not allowed to get it back? Like, we don't know, but there is no reason for any political appointee, if you can even call him that, to have this kind of access.
And let me just say this, y'all. I'm 100% against Elon Musk. I'm 70% for Trump, 30% I disagree. But when it comes to Elon Musk, I'm all the way against Elon Musk. I am. I feel like he don't have a place. He shouldn't be nowhere where he's at. He's a billionaire, all right, but he wasn't elected. The illegal immigrants got to do it the right way. So if the illegal immigrants have to do it the right way, salute Mo. I see you, Mo. Salute Mo. Salute SS. I see y'all.
There's none.
Let me move to the fact that you are also a member of the Judiciary Committee, and since Donald Trump took office, multiple top FBI officials and federal prosecutors who all worked on January 6 cases, they're out of a job. And now the DOJ wants names of those who worked on the Trump or January 6 investigations for possible firing. What do you make of this apparent cleansing?
I mean, you just called it what it is. It's a cleansing. I mean, listen, when Democrats got out there and we said that our democracy was really at risk, people were like, oh, Democrats, you're out there, you're gaslighting. It's not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that
Now, I disagree with that. Appreciate that super sticker, Miss Parker. Appreciate that super sticker. We got 400 people watching with only 45 likes. Double tap the screen and help get my likes up. Double tap the screen and help get my likes up. Salute Not on My Watch. Salute Brother Nazir. I see everybody down there. And if you would like to help me reach my goal of 10 super stickers and super chats, we are 7 super stickers and super chats away from reaching my goal of 10. Appreciate those super stickers, Miss Parker. I am for Donald Trump going after the DOJ and the FBI. Now, I'm for that. But let's get back to Jasmine Crockett.
Thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
Well, let me say this, y'all. What y'all got against the thugs? Come on now, ladies, especially the ladies. Y'all know y'all used to be in love, and some of y'all ladies are still in love with the thugs. So what do y'all got against the thugs? Or is it just because you don't like this thug? Come on now, y'all. I see you, Brother Nazir. Brother Nazir says, I'm really glad that Trump dealt with that gender thing with his criminal ass. I'm for that. I was with that. Come on, not on my watch. Talk to me, not on my watch. Now everybody got a problem with a thug. Why? Because he's in the White House? Now, if the White House was called the Black House, and if it was a black thug that was running the country, would y'all still be saying the same thing? Keep it real, y'all. Keep it real. Come on now. We only 6 super stickers and super chats. Appreciate that cash donation for life. Appreciate that cash donation for life. Take by the Lake says, it's a whole lot of thugs in Denver taking over apartment buildings. Exactly. I can't pronounce Kapora. I think they are in love with the thugs that show. Appreciate that super sticker, Precious Jones. Appreciate that super sticker, Precious Jones. SS says, we had a problem with him for 9 years at this point, and it would be called the gotcha. Not on my watch says, he, like everyone else, 3 baby mothers, 36 felonies, and living in government housing. Right, not on my watch. Look, y'all, he just like every other thug. Ryan says, God loves you. He's just like every other thug with 3 baby mothers, 36 felonies, and living in government housing. Ryan says, Pastor, you funny.
Can you tell me what you're hearing about him from Republicans, from colleagues that will speak to you off the record? Do they have concerns about him? No names, but are you hearing concerns?
Unlock the world.
Wait a minute, y'all. Damn commercials. Then we're going to go to the man of the hour, Donald Trump. We're going to end it off with the man of the hour, Donald Trump. So make sure y'all hold on, because I'm going to definitely go to Donald Trump and let him speak. Right, not on my watch says Shank. Facts. I used to love a thug. I'm too old now. Precious says, we are family. I got all my peeps with me. Appreciate you, Precious. Ryan says, Donald Trump is crazy.
I do hear concerns, and let me make sure that I get this timeline together for the American people. Number one, he was sworn in on January 20th. That was on a Monday. We were supposed to be in session from Tuesday to Friday of that week. They canceled our Friday votes, so we have only been in session Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week that he was sworn in. No other days. They decided to take advantage of the fact that Congress was not in and started to unravel and break as many things in our democracy as they could without us being here. But I can tell you that even when we went through the CR vote, there were Republicans that silently or in the background were cheering us on and saying this is wrong. Like they knew we had negotiated, and all of a sudden this guy who's not elected makes a tweet on Twitter. And so, no, can I tell you that Republicans want to see Elon go down? I can. Now, will they come out publicly and say that? No, because they're concerned about whether or not he'll spend money in their next elections. But there are some. But I need them to understand that this is their time to rise up and do what is right. This is the time to honor the oath that we all took. Listen, today I had to enter into agreement with Rand Paul, something that I never saw on my bingo card. But this is a guy who made it clear. This stupid tariff war is just that. It is dumb. And I have to agree, even when it's somebody like Rand Paul, I have to agree that he is absolutely correct.
I'm going to stop it right there. Appreciate the super stickers. If you drop a 1 if you agree with Ryan. Ryan says Donald Trump high on weed. Drop a 1 if you agree with Ryan. Precious says promise he looks high. Drop a 1. Drop a 2 if you disagree. I mean, like I said, the majority of us, we do not. Now, you still got a few. It's a few. But the majority of the American people, Democrats and Republicans, we're not in agreement with the tariffs. We're not. It's a bad move. The tariffs is a bad move. I'm just keeping it 100, everybody. Those tariffs is a bad move. It's a bad move. Let's go to the DEI, because there's a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk about the DEI. Let's go to the DEI, y'all. Michelle says he is high, but not off of weed. Sabrina says Gaza too. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to the situation in Gaza. I'm against that. Man, leave them people alone. I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to find ourselves bumped off the map. Max says, thought you like Trump. 70% I agree with Trump. 30% I disagree. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. A lot of the stuff coming from Trump, I like it. Let me say it again because they messing with my audio. A lot of the stuff with Trump, I agree with. But then some of the stuff I disagree with. Salute, Tommy. I see you down there, Tommy. Ebeck says, Axe is very creepy. He looks suspicious, and I would keep him away from Byron Trump because he looks suspect. Cape Cod says, DEI benefited white women the most. Tina says, nah, he just took a smell of his fortune, and he is high on power. Good point, Tina. The Full Life says, that's runt effect. But once again, 70% I agree with Trump. 30% I disagree. Let's check out these executive orders, y'all. I believe this is the war on DEI. Donald Trump signs aviation memo to gut DEI hires after DC mid-air collision. Drop a 6. Drop a 6 if you disagree with Trump's DEI hires as far as him signing the aviation memo. Drop a 7 if you agree with him.
Of Transportation and FAA administrator, in this case acting FAA administrator, to basically ensure that we are actively undoing all of that damage, that we are assessing how much damage was done, and that we're ensuring that people hired within the FAA, in keeping with your memorandum of January 21st, are only the most outstanding, capable people for the jobs that they're being hired into.
In other words, competence.
Yes, sir. Elevating competence over everything else instead of the DEI policies that were pursued by the Biden administration.
I think everyone understands that. And Obama.
Yes.
Both of them. Okay, but Biden much worse. Not even a contest. What they've done is just crazy in so many other ways. Okay?
Mr. President, to be clear, are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have, I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are. We want the most competent people, especially in those positions. And, you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
Mr. President, there's long been concerns about the amount of congestion out of DC airport. Do you think that there's too many flights coming out of that airport?
No, I think we need very smart people running the flights and doing it. You know, the ones that aren't good, when they'll either do one of two things. They'll have too many coming in and they can't handle it, or they'll have the people waiting up in the air, which everyone's been caught in that situation, and circling the airports for an hour, and that's no good either.
Mr. President, are you
Military helicopter training flights that are flying around National Airport all the time, what's your view? Should they be
Well, I think it's fine if they're in the right locations and if they're not at the same levels. I mean, if a plane coming in is at 300 feet or 400 feet and a helicopter's training at 300 or 400 feet, why wouldn't they be up 500 feet higher?
What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Salute Lady Luck. Salute Lady Luck Club. I appreciate you for pulling up. And once again, a big shout out to my good buddy, All in the Queue. Shout out to my good buddy all in the queue. Appreciate you for pulling up Lady Luck. Precious Jones says, come on, chat. Yeah, y'all, we got 400 watching with only 71 likes. Double tap the screen and get my likes up. Mel says, so wait a minute. Are they saying that every minority that is hired are DEI hires? Take by the Lake says, so many black-owned products and Target understand business, my people. They trying to push us to Costco, etc. Cape Cod says the helicopter pilots were white. All good points. All good points. See, I'm in disagreement with this. And this is why I'll say it again. In my opinion, Donald Trump is doing too much. And that's part of the 30% that I don't like when it comes to Trump. He's doing too much. Slow your roll. You're all over the place, in my opinion. In my opinion, Donald Trump is all over the place. Slow down. You got 4 years in office. Slow your roll.
So and that to a certain extent is the air traffic controller. Wait, please, wait just a second.
You feel like what happened last night was preventable?
I do, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And, obviously, that was something that should not have happened. And we're not going to let it happen again. Yes, please.
Mr. President.
Now,
What a hand.
many people, damn, I took it off, y'all. Shoot. Let me see if I can get it back, y'all. Many people.
The White House.
All right, there we go.
That the U.S. may be about to pull its troops out of Syria. Have you made a decision to
I don't know who said that. I mean, I don't know who said that, but.
Damn, I done messed it up, y'all. Give me a minute to fix it. Give me a minute, y'all. Let me see if I can come back. I done messed it up, y'all. Brother Nazir says he is doing a lot in a short period of time. He really need to slow his roll. The Full Light says black people are geniuses. Take by the Lake says 4% ain't us. I'll take that, Take by the Lake. I'll take that. I'll take that. Not on my watch says Trump is a huge play runner. Yeah, yeah. But you got to give it up to him, not on my watch. You got to give it up to him. That's a funny dude. When I see him, all right, let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here, y'all. Mac says that's his strategy, throwing everything at the wall to see if it sticks. That's a good point, Mac. That's a good point. I'll take that, Mac. All right, let's come here, y'all. Let's come here. We still on the DEI. He's just taking questions.
We don't even yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed, and you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control and seemingly the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane? You think that's going to make a difference? They are a group of people that have lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in coordination with American Airlines. We're in coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military. But I think that's not a very smart question. I'm surprised coming from you. Please.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for being here. Based on your analysis so far, do you have a sense of who was at fault? If it was the plane, the helicopter, air traffic control, and can you assure people that it is safe to fly in and out of D.C.?
Well, I've given you the analysis, and the analysis was...
Do you want to discover how
God
got over
damn.
1 million subscribers?
All these damn commercials. Is he wrong? What are y'all thoughts on that? Is he wrong for putting the blame on? Because let's be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. And I don't think it's anything wrong if he's calling out who's responsible for it. But what are y'all thoughts? I don't think it's wrong if he call out who's responsible.
You had a lot of people that saw what was happening. You had some people that knew what was happening. There was some warnings, but the warnings were given very, very late.
Stop right there. He says there were some warnings that was given, but the warnings were given late. What are y'all thoughts on that? I mean, we know that the plane crash, we know it just wasn't no coincidence, right? We know it just didn't happen. We know somebody did something that they wasn't supposed to do. Now, is it wrong for the president to call it out? I mean, as Americans, are we that sensitive? Or is it that we're just picking on Donald Trump because it's Donald Trump? I want to know, are we going overboard with picking on Donald Trump? Let me know how y'all feel. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because it seems like nothing that he does is good enough. What are y'all thoughts?
Warnings were given very late. It was almost as they were given. A few seconds later, there was the crash. It should have been brought up earlier. But the people in the helicopter should have seen where they were going. I can't imagine people with 20/20 vision not seeing, what's happening up there. Again, they shouldn't have been at the same height. You're going in reverse directions or sideways directions. Obviously, you want to be at different heights. I see it all the time when I'm flying. You have planes going in the opposite. They're always lower, we're higher, so if somehow there's a screw up, there's not going to be a tragedy. It'll be close, but there's never going to be a tragedy if you're at a different elevation. For whatever reason, they were at the same elevation. And also, from the American Airlines Center, he's along the track that every plane is along. You say, what was the helicopter doing in that track? It's very sad. But visually, somebody should have been able to see and taken that helicopter out of play, and they should have been at a different height.
Thank you, sir. You mentioned the Russians that were on board that plane. What other nationalities were on board that passengers?
There were a couple of others. We're going to be announcing it in about an hour. We have some very specific information. We're calling the countries. We've spoken to most of them, but there were some other countries represented.
Have you spoken to President Putin?
I have not, no.
Mr. President,
not about this.
on your executive order, you've already issued an executive order. You say will restore aviation safety.
Right.
This crash happened after that. Was the executive order successful, and what more needs to change to keep people safe?
Well, we issued it 3 days ago, and we're in the process of making those changes. This is something that should have been done a long time ago. Actually, my original order should have never been changed, and I think maybe you wouldn't have had this problem.
Precious Jones says you cannot pick on a bully, Shank. Waffle Jackson says 3 pilots and the chopper. The trainee pilot may have been a trans. DEI hire has a little to do with it. What are y'all thoughts? DEI was never solely about race. Do y'all agree with Waffle Jackson or do y'all disagree? What are y'all thoughts on what Waffle Jackson has to say? Regardless of what, y'all, regardless of what, Donald Trump is getting down to business. Now, will these executive orders that he signed, will it be doomsday for the American people? We got to remember, as Americans, we got to remember, there are generations that don't know nothing about struggle. Now, if you was born in the 40s, if you was born in the 50s, if you was born in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, a little bit of the 90s, you know about struggle. But you got to remember, Gen Z, the millennials, they don't know nothing about going. Can y'all imagine? Let's just say, all right, let's say we go into a depression. Let's say we take a deep dive into depression. All right. Let's say Canada, Mexico, and China, whom we get a lot of imports from. Let's say if they raises their taxes, which it looks like they're doing. Can y'all imagine going without the foods that we get from Canada, and Mexico? Can y'all survive? Do y'all think we would really be able to survive? Somebody said this in a demonstration yesterday. The reason why the prices on apples and other fruits have went up because the illegal immigrants are not here to pick those fruits no more. Waffle says these kids couldn't handle it. Life's been too good for them. And that's what I'm saying as far as the American people are doomed. We got these generations, they're going to be lost. They're going to be clueless. Trust me. For us, we would be able to handle it. We would be able to handle it. But many of us is not going to be around that much longer for health issues that we all face. Many of us ain't going to be around that much longer. So with everything that he's doing, it's not hurting him. It's not hurting Elon. They're getting richer and richer and richer off of these moves that he's making. It's the American people that's going to suffer behind this. We're going to suffer behind this, y'all. We think crime is up now. We think St. Louis, Cincinnati. We think Detroit. We think Charlotte. We think Atlanta. We think these inner cities, we think that they are off the hook now. Just imagine. Y'all seen what happened when COVID came to town. We wasn't ready for that. Do y'all know, do y'all realize the divorce rate? How the divorce rate went skyrocket through the ceiling once COVID hit? Because the people wasn't ready. The people wasn't prepared. Do y'all realize how many marriages ended? How many relationships ended? We got to always look at the bigger picture. Just because things look good today, that don't mean tomorrow those same things are still going to look good. I'll say it again. In my opinion, he's doing too much. The majority of the executive orders, I'm in agreement with the majority of them. Some of them I disagree with. However, I just believe he should slow walk things. That's all I'm saying. He should slow walk things. In my 53 years on this earth, I learned you can't rush certain things. You just can't. Some things you gotta let it play out. Some things you gotta let the process take place. That's like a baby. You can't have a baby. You can know, but the baby gonna be premature. But you can't have a baby at 3 months, 4 months. And no matter how much that baby is kicking, no matter how bad the mother wants to give birth to that baby right away, she has to wait the 9 months or 10 months. She can't just go pop her belly and the baby come down. Or she can't just go and get anybody to stick their hand up her kitty cat and the baby come down. It don't work like that. I'll say it again. In my opinion, by Donald Trump doing all of this, it's going to backfire. And the American people are going to be the ones that's going to suffer because we're not ready for what's coming. We're not ready for what's coming down the turnpike a year from now, 2 years from now. We ain't going to be ready for it. Many of us is not going to adapt to it. And it's not that we can't adapt to it. We are not going to adapt to it for the simple fact it's Donald Trump. So when we should be adapting to certain things, We ain't going to adapt to it. We're going to do what we have to do. And y'all already know what that is. I believe Malcolm X quoted that, by any means necessary. And that's where this country is headed at. That's where the American people is headed towards, by any means necessary. The crime rate is getting ready to go up. I'm just saying. And y'all know, just as quick as I will give them credit, I still have to speak my mind and say bad move. I would be a hypocrite if I only gave y'all the good when it comes to Donald Trump. I'd be a hypocrite. I have to give y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly, in my opinion now. It's just my opinion. So even though what I'm saying, that don't necessarily mean that I'm right. So I don't want nobody to just automatically assume, well, what Shank said is right. Nah, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But I just think he should slow his roll. You're doing too much, man. You're doing too much. It's like being on a job. You know how you on a job and a person, one of your coworkers, they want to do your job too. Appreciate you, Spitfire. Haven't seen you in a while, Spitfire. Appreciate you, Spitfire. Salute, Cotan. Leslie says exactly, Shank. Sabrina says I didn't vote for Trump. But you ever been around somebody that just do too much? They want to do your job. Slow down, Trump. Slow down. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Precious Jones and Miss Parker. I appreciate those super stickers. TRM says, why is there a law allowing a woman to terminate a father's child so she doesn't have to pay child support than having a law making father pay child support? Precious says it's like a toddler throwing a tantrum. Right. Now, when it comes to the child support and all that, when he passed the executive orders that you can't receive child support and then claim that child on your taxes, I'm in agreement with that one. Salute, Cynthia. Salute, Cynthia. That's what I'm saying. See, I agree with 70% of Trump, but I disagree with 30%. And I'll talk to y'all about the 70% that I agree with him. I got to talk to y'all about the 30% that I disagree. So, as I said, he's doing too much, in my opinion. He is. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel, After Dark with Shank. That's where I do my demonstrations at early in the morning. So if you're not able to catch these demonstrations, if you're only available in the morning and would like to catch my demonstrations, subscribe to my backup channel, After Dark with Shank. Appreciate all of y'all, Cynthia. Take by the lake. Salute to all of my moderators for doing a wonderful job and holding me down. Yeah, After Dark with Shank, Spitfire. That's where I go live at in the morning. Precious Jones says, but hold on. I received $35 a week in the 90s. No way that took care of her. So I do not agree not allowing mother to claim in taxes. Drop a 8 if y'all disagree with mothers not being able to file taxes on a child if they receive child support. Drop a 9 if you disagree. James says Trump is trying to shorten Section 8 to a 2-year limit. And I'm in agreement with that, James. I'm in agreement with that. Salute, Sages. Salute, Sages. Take by the lake says prayer is the main win. Stay blessed. Yes. Salute, Emma. Emma dropped the 8. Spitfire. says emplacement. James dropped the 8. And if you're catching this on the replay, and if you would like to support the channel, just click on the $ symbol. G. Cox says, whoever earns more money, that's who claims a child on the taxes. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning over there on After Dark with Shank. And I'll see y'all back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Salute everybody. Appreciate all of y'all.